So the 20-page memo written by the president's lawyers in January opens up a huge can of worms for the White House. Actually, not worms. It's more like a writhing hydra of dishonesty. And just like the mythical creature, you chop off one lie and two more emerge in its place. The January letter from the president's lawyers admits that the president dictated what they call a short but accurate response to the fact that Donald Trump Jr. met at Trump Tower with Russians promising dirt on Hillary Clinton. The president dictated, it says. But last July, his attorney, Jay Sekulow, said...
So that wasn't written by the president?
He also said...
The president didn't sign off on anything.
And just for good measure, he added...
The president was not involved.
So dictating without being involved is quite a trick. But just in case you think there's a linguistic wiggle room there, last August, Sarah Sanders said...
He certainly didn't dictate.
But wait, his lawyers say the president dictated.
He certainly didn't dictate.
The president dictated.
He certainly didn't dictate.
Certainly he did. So say his lawyers. Now, there's a lot of talk about the difference between a lie and a falsehood or untruth. Here, someone is lying. Either the president lied to Jay Sekulow and Sarah Sanders, or they lied to us. Now, it's not a crime to lie to the press or the American people. It is a crime to lie under oath, and Donald Trump Jr.'s testimony on this subject is pretty suspect. Leave that aside for now, and forget for a second that the statement the president dictated is wildly misleading in itself, saying the Trump Tower meeting was largely about adoption when the reason it was set up in the first place was to get dirt from the Russians on Hillary Clinton. But that aside, what's astounding today is Rudy Giuliani's explanation for all of this.
Our recollection keeps changing.
Your recollection keeps changing? Your recollection? Are you suggesting someone forgot something? What exactly did they forget? When Jay Sekulow said the president wasn't involved, he forgot that he actually was? When Sarah Sanders says he certainly didn't dictate the letter, she did not recollect that he certainly did? It seems, Mr. Mayor, the biggest failure in recollection was the recollection to actually tell the truth.
All right, let's discuss with CNN political analysts John Avlon and David Gregory. John Avlon, the president dictated the letter.
Yes.
We now know, as John so beautifully pointed out and walked us through all of that. And so the fact that they're now admitting that after having lied consistently about it, does that tell us that someone like, say, Hope Hicks has been interviewed by Robert Mueller, and now they have to tell the truth? It only got to the point where they had to tell the truth because Robert Mueller knows something.
Well, telling the truth is not the first instinct of this crew. And the question does become, were there enough interviews that they were backed into it? What I find particularly fascinating isn't just the denials by Sarah Sanders and Jay Sekulow that we now know is a lie, as John just laid out with dictation. But even in the admission, they say it's a short but accurate statement, which is itself a fundamental falsehood. They can't help themselves with this stuff.
It's a lie. Jay Sekulow, his lawyer, lied repeatedly to the American people. I guess unless the president flat out lied to him, which is possible, but someone's lying there. And David, I said, forget for a moment that it's about this meeting, but this is dishonesty be about something that is crucial to the entire investigation. It's the Trump Tower meeting where Donald Trump Jr. was promised dirt on Hillary Clinton. They are telling lies about that crucial meeting.
Right. And so if you're an investigator or you're a special prosecutor looking into this, you'd like to question the president about the circumstances of the meeting, what he knew, what he didn't know. And given the lies surrounding it, it becomes something that you grow even more suspicious about. And we don't know, as you say, there's Hope Hicks, there's lots of other people who worked in the White House who are around the president who could shed light on what the president both knew, what motivated him to fire Jim Comey, all of which could be the basis of bringing information that the president obstructed justice in the view of the special prosecutor. The question is, what does Congress do with it? I come back to what we were talking about a few minutes ago. All of this right now is a political process. It is a political argument against what they see as the overreach of the special prosecutor, of Democrats, of the whole specter of the idea that there was, is there collusion if there's no collusion, as if we know that that's the conclusion, which we do not, because we don't know what the special prosecutor has or does not have. But this is what's starting to gel as an argument among Republicans, even among Republican leaders. And I'll be honest, let's go back to our recent history. This is basically the team around the president saying, hey, look, Bill Clinton lied about all this stuff. Go back to his testimony. You know, it depends on what the meaning of is. You know, and it's not a crime to lie to the press. You may not like it, but it doesn't get them crosswise with lawyers. But I mean, but that's the direction they're going. I'm not saying whether it's successful or not.
Look, but I will say again, it is a lie. It is a problem and a crime to lie to Congress. And Donald Trump Jr. testified about this. Let me just read this quickly. We can move on. The Washington Post. Donald Trump Jr. was asked. The Washington Post has since reported that your father was involved in drafting your July 8th statement. Is that correct? He says, Donald Trump Jr. I don't know. I never spoke to my father about it. Well, the president's lawyers are saying the president dictated it.
Right, but
Donald
maybe
Trump
John Jr.
Jr.
didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah, maybe
Well, I don't know.
it doesn't sound
I'm
like
just
he
saying
lied to
that
Congress
unless
if
he
he said
was
he
on
didn't
Air
know.
Force
That's a
One.
stretch.
I mean, we know Hope Hicks was.
But the whole chronology of this is lie upon lie upon lie, and that's what's important, right? Remember, first this meeting didn't happen, then it was about adoption, then there were incriminating emails that showed it was about getting dirt on Hillary Clinton. I mean, you know, the fact pattern here is at first, you know, the first impulse is to lie, and then it's a cascading, you know, effort to confront the truth when they're forced to do it. But they got fundamental problems. Look, I mean, you know, their strategy seems to be, look, the impeachment is the only way to rein in the power of the president, and they know that politically that's unlikely because of the Senate threshold. But that itself contradicts things that people like, you know, during the Clinton impeachment, when people said that the president's not above the law. You know, that was the conservative line at the time. Now the roles reversed with Republicans in office, and they're arguing the same thing. It's back to Nixon. The president doesn't